DOMS Oil Pastel 50 Shades set. So if you've seen my earlier videos, you would have seen the one where I did the unboxing of the DOMS art painting kit, and in that there was a small set of oil pastels. So this is the bigger video where I'm reviewing their 50 shades. So I've been having this for a couple of years right now, and I really like it. I am a big fan of this. I wanted to show you guys what all comes in this kit, what are the shades like, and if it is worth getting the 50 shades one as compared to the smaller kit. So this is what the box looks like. It's a plastic box. It also has like this very cool hanging tag thing over here. It comes with a free scrapping tool and a watercolor pen inside, and I have never used this watercolor pen, so I'm excited to actually try this out with you guys today. And I got this for MRP is INR 200 for this set. So I think the price is brilliant for a set like this. So I'm going to show you what all the colors are there inside and how it works. So let's start reviewing it. So this is what the box opens like, and you can see the colors are so beautiful. This is the scrapping tool. Used it for a while, hence it's like this. And this is the watercolor pen. So it's interesting for me that they have a watercolor pen inside an oil pastel set. Like, these are not waterproof, okay? Like, you cannot use water and then expect it to dissolve. You can try it, but I don't think it'll work. I've never tried it, so try it out and tell me. So this is from their Sketch Max set, which is a waterproof pen. So this is another interesting watercolor pen. Not waterproof, watercolor pen. So what happens is if you add some water, this will bleed and then the colors will mix in together. So you can see of all the colors, my white has been used the most, which is generally the case. Now, one very interesting thing that I wanted to talk about is how to take these colors out. So if you've seen other kits of different brands, the major problem I face in most of them is how do you take the colors out? Do you dig into them? Do your nails get your colors? What do you do? So with this, it's very easy. So all I need to do is just press and the other side will open up. So I'm going to show it to you from another angle so it's easier for you to see. Let me just show the other angle. So if I press, let's say this color, you can see how this lifts up on the other side. So it's so easy to pick it up, each individual color. So I really like it because of that. So here are the 50 shades, and I haven't used all of them. There are a few that I use very regularly, and there are a few that I have never used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you swatches of all of these colors, and we'll make some very interesting artwork with this today. Alright, it's time to start swatching these colors. I'm going to start from this side. You can also rearrange the entire thing with warm colors on one side, cool colors on the other side, neutrals in one. So you can always rearrange it that way. So this is what each one looks like. It's nice, handy, easy, lightweight. So most of the oil pastels packaging of different brands will be in a similar format. So this is similar to that, and it's really good. This is the light yellow. It's so smooth, very, very smooth. And the best part is it does not leave a lot of residue out. You can see this very, very little. So you would have seen me use a lot of different ones before. And so I'm just going to go in this order so that I don't mix up the colors. The next is their flesh tint. So when I don't apply a lot of pressure, I'm still able to get a nice light color. This is the next one, which is their Simon Pink. So having 50 shades helps a lot, especially if you're a beginner, and this is the light orange, by the way, and you are somebody who doesn't do a lot of color mixing. Then having a lot of colors really makes sense for you, because what you can then do is mix up your colors, use it up different ways, and you don't need to worry too much about color mixing. But I would still recommend you guys to learn how to do color mixing. This is your burnt sienna. The next one is here, which is called as the brown. It's just called brown. They also have the shade number written next to each of them. So I don't know if it, is this side or that side, but I'm just like going with the flow. I'm assuming it's on the other side, because the ones that haven't been used are all at this side. So So I'm just going to quickly turn it over. I want it to look nice. That's something that I love with art supplies. I like arranging them. I like making them look beautiful. This here is their maroon. Having a swatch sheet for a 50 set specially will be very useful for you. So what you can do is you can just cut a sheet of paper, create the swatches and then stick it over here. So you know what the corresponding colors are and it becomes very easy for you to use them. The next one is their primary red. So it looks so different. The color of this packaging, the color over here, it's going to be so different from what you get on the paper, which is why for these kind of colors, it's a very good idea to have a swatch sheet and then just stick it over there. This is their carmine. So if I see it, I would never even imagine that this is going to be carmine. It's like it's making fun of you, teasing you, saying that, guess the color that I am. This is their geranium. If you look at the paper color outside, you would think this is primary red. It's pretty close to primary red, but you can see how, this is very deceiving. So it's always a good idea to create swatches. The next one here is their scarlet. And here is their orange. There are so many color swatches that I have created so far of these colors, but you can see there's not a lot of residue, which is something I'm so happy about, because sometimes I am very worried because I have a white table and I'm worried that it will get damaged. This is the orange, which I just created right now, and here is the vermilion hue. So when you create your swatch sheet, you can also write the names of the colors down, because then it becomes really easy for you to create it. Like if I'm sticking the sheet of swatches here, whatever name is corresponding to that, I can keep these colors here. This is their deep yellow. The packaging looks like some kind of orange. So this is their medium yellow. I really like this yellow. Now is the lemon yellow. This looks more greenish yellow to me. For me, these two look very similar. And the fluorescent yellow. Wow, I have never seen a fluorescent color in oil pastels, and this is, I think, the first time I'm seeing a fluorescent color. And it looks very nice. It's very interesting. So I'm going on now to the next side, which here is all the neutrals. Ideally, you can just have all your grays and your white and your black over here. So it's easy for you to use them. Black. I'll probably create a video someday of how I arrange my colors inside the box. That might give you some idea. This is their dark brown. Next is the yellow gray. This is a very interesting color. I think it should be more, it shouldn't be called yellow gray, it should be more of brownish something. It looks to me like one of those brown shades and earthy colors, because yellow gray will still be a little grayish if you see the watercolor tubes that we get, but still I'm really happy that they have this shade. This is their light brown. Very nice. This is the color called buff. I don't know what this is. It looks like yellow ochre to me. It's a very interesting color. They do have a yellow ochre, which is a slightly darker version of the buff. This is their grey green. These are very, very interesting colors. So these are also artist shade colors, because you wouldn't find them in normal sets at all. So I'm quite happy that they have very interesting bit of 50 colors. So they didn't take the normal ones. They took quite good ones, so you can create wonderful color palettes with it. This is their olive green. When I say color palettes, you can create earthy tones. You can see how this olive green is so different from these bright shades which are here. These go so well with each other. If you're interested, let me know in comment section and I will create videos of how to create color palettes. Next is their sap green. Greens is so tricky. It's not easy to get beautiful greens in different sets of colors, so I love that they have such a rich variety of green here. Next is their dark green, and then they have an emerald green. I love the colors. This is their Prussian green. I have never used a Prussian green before. You can see it's such a beautiful color. It gives a hint of the Prussian blue mixed with green. Absolutely lovely. This is their light green. And then I have a yellow green, which is very nice. And then I have a deep green. And the last green is their leaf green. So let me just add that here. So beautiful. I'm moving on to the last section right now, which has a lot of blues and purples and pinks. The first is the Prussian blue. You can see a hint of the Prussian blue in this Prussian green. I think it's one of my favorite colors right now out of this set. Next is the Antwerp blue. You can imagine creating a beautiful beach scene. You have so many blue varieties in this set. The ultramarine blue. And nothing is too strong. They are very beautiful made colors. The pigments are really good. They're light blue. It's not easy to mix these kind of colors. Even if you have a smaller set, it's hard for you to get all of these colors. So I think that way this set is brilliant. And with that, this is a brilliant blue. Such lovely colors. And the next one I have here is the cerulean blue. The blue colors itself create a very interesting palette. And then I have here the cobalt blue. Just going to move it around so you can see all the colors together, hopefully. This is again my cobalt blue. It looks like a mauve mixed with the blue. It's an interesting cobalt. Next I have the dark violet. So the dark colors are leaving out a little bit of residue, but still not too much. In some colors, some brands, I have found that a lot of residue comes out. I find it personally a little hard to use them. This is the violet. Very, very small difference in terms of the shade, but quite well done. This is their light violet. And the next I have a rose pink. Such a pretty color. Then they have a fluorescent pink. This is also pretty bright. Of course, not as luminescent. The color is not so luminescent as the fluorescent pink, yellow, but you still have a fluorescent. That's interesting. Then you have a pink. It's like fuchsia, very nice. We have a grey rose, another interesting color. This will help you to learn so much about color theory, just names of different colors, mixing colors, so it's lovely that way. This is their dark grey. This is their regular grey. And the one that I've seen to use the most is their white. I have some residue of blue, otherwise it's a really nice white. So you can see how their colors are. Let me show you all of the colors swatches together along with the sheet. It's such a brilliant set of colors. This is such a brilliant set of colors. I love how all of these shades are and how it's coming out on the swatch sheet. We will also now do a little bit of review of this pen. If you want to know more details about these pens, I will also leave in the description over here a longer video of these sketch pens, sketch max that I have done before, and you can go and have a look at that video. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm also going to show you a couple of techniques that you can do with oil pastels to know whether these oil pastels work for you. Like we're going to try some gradation, we're going to try some color mixing, and we will also be using this tool, scratching tool over here, to create some interesting patterns, and we'll try out different techniques of what can be done using this. We're now going to try and use this sketch max and see whether it is a watercolor pen. So by watercolor pen, what it means is the strokes that are created from this, these are water soluble. So I'm going to take a brush now, dip it in some water and just run over this, and you can see how this is dissolving in water. You can see some colors. So this set is about a couple of years old. In spite of that, you can see that it is a little bit water soluble. Let me show you a closer look, which is quite a good sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to add a little bit of water and so you can see how it helps you to create very interesting textures and patterns. It's now time to move on and create some techniques. So the first thing that I'm going to do is try out some gradation. So I'm going to pick out a couple of colors in the same family and we will try to gradate. We'll see whether the layers work well with each other. So I'm picking a couple of pinks and violets. So I'm just going to create like a petal. Let's have like the lighter color on top and darker at the bottom. We'll also see if a lot of color comes out on our hand. So far it doesn't look like it's going to, so I'm really happy about that. I've got some rose pink here. You can see that it's gradating by itself. I don't have to do a lot of work, which is what I absolutely love about them. Otherwise you'll have to keep mixing a couple of colors. I've got a light violet and that's also layering well. I'll pick now a darker violet. So beautiful. I'm just going to run a little bit of white on top. I don't even need to do this because it has blended in by itself. A lot of times artists would use white to blend all the colors together, but you'll notice that with this I don't have to do that, so it's very nice. So pretty. So with gradation it's absolutely amazing. I'm now going to do some blending. So I'm going to use two different colors, maybe some blue and yellow, to see if we can create a nice green. So I'm going to lay down some blue first. This I've used over here is the light blue and I'm using a medium yellow. So okay, and now in the middle I'm going to just layer on top. This is amazing. It's so good and it's so useful to understand color mixing, color theory. It's brilliant. I'm a big fan of DOMs. You would have seen a lot of my videos are based on DOMs and their pigment quality is amazing. Their colors for the price that they give is very, very good. So I'm so happy that there are these options which are available right now, and it's such a good thing to have. So now it's time to try our last one, which is with this. So I'm going to lay down first a lighter color and then I'll put a darker color on top. So I'm going to take some yellow green. And in the center, I'll probably put some kind of a pink, maybe fluorescent pink. Okay. We're going to now put a darker color. I'm going to try out something and see if this works. If it doesn't, then we'll try out this technique on. Because this blends really well, I'm not sure whether this will work here, but let's try it out. So it does work very well. So what if I have to create? This is very nice. You can create very interesting things with this. Create like a star. Lots of wonderful fun patterns you can create with this. So now this we have layered. What if we don't have it layered? What happens if I do it here? I have some black on this, but you can see it's like very subtle lines are created. It's best when you have like a lighter background and a darker foreground. At that time I think it's absolutely best to use this technique. So after doing these three styles, which is our gradation first and then our color mixing, and then we are doing the layering and trying to use this tool, I am giving you like 2 big thumbs up for these DOMS oil pastels. I'm now going to create a small scene. We'll draw something, we'll use these colors and then we'll fill in and we'll see how the final effect looks like. So now to try out the different So I'm going to now draw a couple of different kind of objects for you to understand how to use these colors instead of doing a scene, because I think it will be more useful in that way. So the first thing that I'm going to do is a tree. So let's just make a nice interesting tree. A simple one. I don't want to do a very complicated one. So what I'm going to do first is use this black sketch to create like an outline. So like I was telling you this, I've put this in water, which is why the color has become a little lighter right now. So what I'm going to do is I will use water to get a little bit of the gradation of this color inside. So just at the edges. I'm going to just try out what happens, you know, when you add oil pastels. So this technique I haven't used before, so that's why I'm kind of excited to try this out. Okay, so just added a little bit of that. Now I'm going to pick out my colors. We'll start off with a light brown. And we'll use a lot of different colors now. So the light is coming from this side, so this side is going to be darker. I've got some yellow gray, but that's like a nice brown, which is why I'm using that. There are some kids playing, so there's some background noise. I hope you don't mind. And I've got a little darker brown. I'll also check if there's another brown. There's a light brown which we've already used. Okay, we'll use this darker brown. And you can see how beautifully the gradation is happening. I don't have to do any work. So it's so simple and comfortable to use these colors. I love that there's not a lot of residue. I don't have to blow away the residue, and that's sometimes a little annoying for me to have to do. So my black is very dark, but it's okay. What I'll do is I will use a little bit of brown to merge this in. My edges are also very nice, clean and sharp with these DOMS colors. So let me show you a close-up look. So I did do this outline on purpose because I wanted to figure out how it will look. So if you're not a fan of the outline, you can just completely skip it. I'm just showing you all the different things that you can do with your colors. Okay, maybe a little bit of like green, just to add some variety to it. Very, very little, and maybe some kind of blue. Okay. Now time to add here. I'm going to start off with a lemon yellow. Just, then we'll slowly start moving into different greens. I'm going with the yellow green now. So the technique that I'm using is just going in spirals, because then it's easier to cover larger area and your hands don't pain, and it gives you a nice texture as well. Now going to a light green. The color difference is very subtle, but what it does is it helps to merge things together. So don't go contrasting immediately, just go slowly in terms of your shades. Always remember that. Don't go from like a lemon yellow to directly an emerald green, especially if you're doing like trees and stuff. Okay. I'm going on to a slightly darker one, which is the leaf green. I think it's very similar, these two greens, also because you're layering it on top of multiple other colors, but it's a little lighter than your emerald, so it's nice. And then I'm going to dark green. I'm going to use some kind of yellow again because I want a little bit more yellow to stand out. Okay. Yep. So I really like how this tree looks. We'll just add maybe a little bit of shadow or something at the bottom. Let's just add some grey. I'm going to use some white because I want this to be smooth. It's so lovely. I love how these colors are. So we're going to now create another small object and we'll paint it. My favorite is fruits, but I don't know if I'm doing a lot of fruits. I'm just going to create some different kind of an object now. So the next thing we will do is a nice hot air balloon. For this, I will not be doing an outline with the black. So we have a small person here, maybe something like this. This is interesting, and we'll have maybe some pattern if we want to. So let me start off with the colors first. So here we're going to give like interesting gradation. I'm going to just try out different things. So I'm layering colors on top. So when I'm layering colors, there is some residue which comes, but then there is still, again, it's not a lot. So I think it's okay, and it still leaves like a nice edge. It looks good. I get like a clean edge, so I'm quite happy about that. Okay, I've done my first one. Now we'll move on. We'll create a green and maybe a blue. We'll mix those colors. So you can try out different things. You don't even have to do gradation everywhere. So I'm trying now the light green on top of the yellow green, and I'm not able to see much, so I'm going to move to a different green on it, maybe leaf green. So like I was saying, it's not necessary at all for you to do gradation at any point. You can just figure out what you like best, and you can just add colors as it is, just blocks of colors, and that looks amazing with oil pastels. I'm doing this so that you can see what are the different things that you could create that will give you an idea of how much you can push your colors to work for you. Got a pink, and we'll add in some purple. So I wanted to add blue on the green, but then I added dark green. So here I'm going to use a light purple. It looks so lovely. And then we will use a cobalt blue and a darker blue on top. So basically I'm just doing gradation. I'm not doing exactly color mixing. And even though there's no outline, you can see that it looks so pretty. And it's very distinct, the colors. So now I'm using a darker blue. It is giving me a little bit of trouble. So with every set, you'll have to figure out which colors are good with layering, which ones don't work with layering. So it's very normal for this to happen. So don't worry if your colors are not working on gradation. It doesn't mean that you're not doing it right. There are some limitations with some pigments. A little bit of darker one. So here I just cannot see the dark, so we'll go a couple of shades darker. Good to try out like the immediate shade first, and then you build up. Okay, and we'll use some brown. We'll try a lighter brown on top of a darker brown. Maybe I'll use a yellow ochre on top of this and see what happens. So it does still give you a shade. So what happens is it's removing my darker brown from the base, and then it's creating this gradation. So we have a person here who's having a great time inside. Outline if you really wish to, but you can just completely skip it as well. I'm just giving like a small hint, very, very small hint. I want to create like some designs on top. So I'm going to try first with this and see if I can create something. First is over here. I can hear some kids playing. I hope it's not a disturbance again for you guys. So this has created such a beautiful texture of a basket. And now I'm going to create some design on top. It'll create it with like a lighter color because it's just removing that layer of color. We don't have a dark and light layer like we tried before. But you can see that the effect is amazing. And it's so easy and simple. You can just create on the go. You'll also not know where to stop, so just be careful about that. So normally I tend to do that, I get overboard, I go overboard, I get very excited and I create things, but I think that's the way you can learn, you can experiment, and I feel like it's okay to do that. Like, this is probably not necessary, but I want to show you all the effects that I can on this, so it'll give you ideas. What if somebody likes to do only polka dots and wants to do that? So then that works perfect. I'm going to use a couple of darker colors like on, I don't want the black to stand out so much, so I can use like the same color itself and blend it out. So it mixes with, like for example over here, it's mixing with my yellow to create slightly reduced color. It's not so strong. I would prefer colors like these. So let me show you a close-up. And it leaves very, very, very less colors on my hand. It doesn't make it so dirty. So I love it because of that reason, where I don't feel very messy when I'm using them. So showing you a little zoomed out version where you can see all of my colors. And these are also my swatches. So it will come, okay? It will bleed from one paper and stick onto the other one. It will not go behind. But yes, it is very sticky. So the oil pastels will be like this. So the way to protect your paper and your sheets and your artwork, there are a couple of methods. One is you can use a butter sheet or a parchment paper and you can place it on top of this. So you protect your artwork that way, or don't create anything on the other side. Just create only on one side and not on the other side. The other method you can use is you can use the fixative. It will come like a spray. There are specific fixatives for just oil pastels, so you could get that. But if you're practicing, you don't have to do that. Just have a separate book for it, and make sure that you take care of the book really well and don't leave it upside down sticking like this on the table, otherwise everything will get stuck over there. So I hope you had fun with watching this video with me, and I hope it was informative enough for you to understand whether these colors work for you. If you're a beginner, if you're somebody who's enthusiastic about oil pastels, and even if you're somebody in an intermediate level, I would highly recommend this set, because the colors which are there in this are amazing, especially all these different colors which are there, which you will not find in any other set. I haven't found it so far, but I love the quality of these colors. There is the grey green and then the yellow grey. These are not colors which you will find in your any other regular oil pastel set. So especially for the price that you're getting this for, it's brilliant. So a big thumbs up from me for using these. So I'll see you soon for the next video. Bye bye.